So I want to say that I took one for the team this this video, and I did not wear mascara. So I'm not sure if it was only me who it bothered last time, but after I cried, it left smudges of mascara on my face, and as I was editing it, I was just like, ugh, like get that off of there. So took one for the team, no mascara today, so we don't have that problem. And I'm just gonna jump straight into the products that I used up because that feels like the easiest way to kind of get this video going. So I have 2 product use ups, and one of them was, I think, more of a declutter. Actually, it was exactly a declutter, and one was actually used up. And the first one is the Farmhouse Fresh Guac Star Mask. Now, this, if you read the company's website, is supposed to be a hydrating mask. I put this in here to help kind of promote self-care. And I was so excited because I live in a really dry climate, so I can always use something nourishing and moisturizing. And I just have to say, who puts bentonite clay and kaolin clay in a hydrating masks? I don't understand, because that is complete opposite. Clay is meant to absorb excess oils, help kind of like pull out toxins and debris from the skin. It's more for clearing skin, not hydrating skin. So yeah, you can throw all the avocado in there that you want, but your first ingredients are clay. So needless to say, as much as I don't understand this mask, and it also didn't moisturize my face, which after I kind of found that out, it was like, no shit. This also irritated and caused my skin to react. So I actually got like red, splotchy and itchy skin, and it actually swells up around my eye area, and the top part of my mouth kind of comes pronounced. It's almost like natural duck lips. So definitely not trying this again. I'm happy I tried to take some time out for myself, but no. And this one here, I am kind of proud of myself, and I feel in a way that I gave up on myself. This is the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. This is, you know, when you're still here and you just don't want to be here, but in a product. I fucking hate this mascara, and I find it so funny. To give you a kind of lighthearted story to go with this one, I used to work at Sephora, and our store owner, like the actual owner of our store, she was like, hands down my favorite mascara. She said it one day when like the It Cosmetic rep was in, so it's like you never know if she was saying it just to actually like, you know, buddy up to her if she actually likes this. But I ended up trying this, and I was just like, oh, so excited, because like if your store owner, out of all the mascaras that she sells, if this is the #1 for her, it's gonna be good. I fucking hate this. It was so dry and so flaky when it was brand new that it would kind of flake down underneath your eye area if you go to brush it off. Any sort of moisture, whether even if it was humid in the air, would cause it to smudge. And then oddly enough, you go to wash this off at the end of the day, and it doesn't matter how clean you think you got your skin, when you wake up the next morning, there's mascara residue on your eyes. And it's just like, there's no winning. I can't keep it on for the life of me, and I can't get it off my skin for the life of me, and it wears like shit. It was one of those mascaras too that it's like one day it looked really nice and you had nice kind of luscious lengthened lashes, and the next day you go in and you got clumpy spider legs, and it's just like, I quit. So needless to say, I took out the stopper on this thing, scraped out all the excess product, cut off the brush, and I gave it kind of a rinse out, because I was like, you know what, if I'm at least going to declutter it, I'm going to try and recycle it. So there's my one good thing that came out of that one. So I guess I'll start with a story to kind of get talking about some of the products. So one of the big things that I started doing last month is I went and I saw not only my family doctor, I saw a psychologist as well as a psychiatrist, and the big thing that it seemed like we were focusing on is sleep. So when my anxiety gets really bad, I don't sleep. And it's not one of those things where you just kind of like go to bed and it takes you like 5 hours to get to sleep kind of thing. Like I don't sleep. And if I manage to sleep, it's usually because I end up passing out. Like it's not like I'm not willingly sleeping. It's literally my body being like, yep, we're done, and now we're gonna recharge. So like, and then I don't end up staying asleep for a long time. I get up and I'm really restless, and it's just a nightmare. So the way that someone described it to me is that we have this mental issue that we're trying to basically fix and kind of reform, but we also have the insomnia that we have to deal with, and there's no way we're going to help fix the mental state when you can't even mentally recharge. So the first month we focused on trying to overcome the insomnia and trying to at least get it where I can kind of go to sleep at night, refresh my mind, kind of relax my body, you know, what sleep is supposed to do. So I started taking this medication. This medication, I swear to God, like 100% 180 within like 2 days of taking this. We went from not sleeping, being 100% restless at night, being super agitated, to taking this medication at 10:30 at night and going to bed one day and waking up at 1:30 the next day. And at first it was like, okay, awesome. This is what it's like to sleep. This is actually what it's like to be refreshed and want to get up in the day. And then a whole month later, and that's still happening, and you're like, no, like, I'm over this. Actually, I was over it within about a week, that I was like, this is too much sleep. So it was just funny to go from like one thing to like complete opposite. So needless to say, we went and we talked to him and we're just like, you know, I'm sleeping too much. And then the worst part about it is that even if I'm waking up anywhere between like 11:30 and 1:30, I'm still tired by the time 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hits. Like, I don't know what it is, but apparently it's a side effect of the medication that this can happen. And it's also a side effect of anxiety and BPD, that you're just always fatigued. So that was lovely. But going and seeing him, you know, he was like, the medication did what we wanted it to do, so you can stop taking it. And roughly around this time is actually where I wanted to film this video initially, but I was like, you know what, it's a little too early to kind of film an update video, so I'm gonna leave it, because you know, if something happens, I'll want to put it in here. And that's exactly what happened. Is that something happened. And unfortunately, when I wanted to film this video like 5-6 days ago, I was in such a good place. Like, as tired as I was super happy. I just got taken off of a medication. It meant things were going good. We were on the right path. And then we got off this medication, and the first 2 days I could feel my mental stability kind of like wavering down. And then by the third day from after not taking this medication anymore, I hit the shit wall. And essentially what happened is that I just wasn't feeling good. And just like, when I say that, I mean just felt mentally exhausted. Like, you just feel tired, you feel kind of defeated, but it didn't feel that bad, which is the weird thing to say. But then I was like, you know what, I have no idea what to do right now. I'm not motivated. I can't get myself to do anything. I'm just gonna go have a shower. This is at like 10 o'clock at night. Went in the shower, and out of nowhere, it was just like a flood of passive suicidal thoughts just came out of nowhere, and I started bawling my eyes out in the shower. And essentially, that's where we kind of been the last couple of days. So it's just funny to go from one extreme to the other extreme, which apparently is what this BPD is all about, is extremes and fluctuating between them. And I guess I never really, I don't know if I just never experienced it to this point before, or if maybe it's because now I'm aware of what's going on that I seem to be able to pick things out a little bit easier. But it's exhausting. Like, I just constantly feel exhausted, and it's like I wanted to give up. Actually, before we move on, I had a new product to bring into this project, which kind of went along with that story. And this is a aromatherapy sleep pillow mist by Bath and Body Works in the scent Lavender Vanilla, which I love lavender, I love vanilla, but there's like no vanilla in here. It's just like pure 100% potpourri lavender, which I'm not quite my thing, but I thought maybe like spray it in like the dryer when you put your stuff in there, give it like a light refreshing scent. So the goal is to use that up. So there's that. Now, moving on, what was I talking about? Oh, so I felt very defeated, and I didn't really know how to move ahead with it. And I think, I'll admit it, I'm one of those people, I'm 100% impatient. I know that when I start something, I want to see results now. I want something to come of it. So to go this past month and not really, I don't want to say get a lot out of it, because a lot has happened, but to me, I wanted more. So I am a little bit disappointed about that, but then to see how everything just kind of like 180'd back to where we were, it's super defeating. And I was like, you know what, like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? So I had a pre-screening to go into group therapy, and that pretty much left me feeling even more defeated. Like, you go in there and you basically are in a room of other people who are sharing their story, and then you spill your guts out and you tell your story, and then you leave. And it's just like how mentally exhausting it is to sit there and to do that, just to walk away. Like, zero outcome. Like, you don't know how it went. You could have got in, you might not have, maybe you're not even a good fit for the thing, like, you don't know. But putting that aside, you just literally spill your guts out and you leave. Like, maybe it's because I've never done this before, I've never really looked into it before, but fuck, was it exhausting. And I literally, that day was a write-off after that. Like, it happened almost first thing in the morning, and I swear, like, we walked the dog after that, and then it was just, I think I went to bed at like 6 o'clock, because by that time, like, I had a headache from crying all day, and I was just like, that was it. Like, I didn't know what else to do from there. So I woke up the next day, which was today? Holy shit, yeah, okay, that was yesterday. So I woke up today and I was just like, you know what, like, I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I feel like, yeah, we have the stepping stones, like, we went to see 4 different people now within the span of a past month. Like, we are going to see the right people, we just don't have any sense of direction. And I was like, fuck it, like, I'm tired of waiting. So of course you go onto the internet and you're just like, what should I do? And sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing, and I'm not really sure what I think of it just yet. But you have your things that pop up, like, start bullet journaling, start meditating, and I'm just like, you know what, I've tried these, like, do you not think I've tried these things at this point? But one of them came up and it said, knowledge is power. And I'm like, you know what, I can kind of agree with that. I've always been somebody who's always wanted to advance my education, like, regardless of what, I love to learn. So I'm like, you know what, I didn't really want to dive too deep into knowing what was all encompassed in BPD, because I didn't want it to influence me. Like, if I didn't see a trait in myself, I didn't want to try and nitpick and, like, potentially, like, put that trait onto me when it didn't really fit. Which is funny enough, because I'm, like, decided to go full blown into this thing, like, started reading, like, I'm so proud of myself. I finished a book. So Amanda, if you're at this point, I finished a book. She's been bugging me about that I had to finish, but I did finish one. And by the time I got to it, it was funny because, like, it's like, people with BPD sometimes do this, and they looked at John and I was just like, I don't do that. And you could just see him go, he's like, I think you're kind of misunderstanding what they're saying. He's like, let me put it into an example. And he's like, it's when, you know, when this happened and you did this, and it's just like, shut the front door. I guess I do have that trait. So it's like, we went from reading this thing to thinking that this diagnosis only really fit like 60% of what was going on, to be like, ah, fuck, it's more like 85. That's good. So I'm not really sure if this knowledge is power thing is good or not yet. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I feel like I have a lot of information that I just don't know how to utilize properly. So it's very overwhelming and very confusing, but essentially that's where we are right now. And to keep this video from going into the 32 minutes that it was last time, I think that's where I'm going to stop this story right now, is just kind of the progress of how all of that happened. And then the rest of the things that I have is just to kind of show you the progress I made on the rest of the products, because this month is all about progress, even if it goes like this and then kind of goes like this. So whatever. The one with the least amount of least amount of progress is the clay paint liner by Tarte. As you can see, there's still one line on there, and I have been using this. There's got to be an air bubble in here somewhere, and you know it'll be great the day that we hit it, but unfortunately till then it looks like I absolutely did nothing, but I swear I did use it multiple times. Second least amount of progress is in our incredible You Glow Girl Cosmic Blur. Can you see that? Ish. There's like a gold line and then there's a silver line. So basically our progress is just like slightly. And I've been using, I think this is, out of the makeup products, the one I felt like I used the most, but apparently not, because I'm blown away by the amount of progress that apparently I made on this one. This is my lip gloss, and as you can see there's a gold line right by the black lid, and then there's another one like half a centimeter down or a full centimeter down. I hate lip gloss. Like, I don't know how I managed to do that. So clearly people use lip gloss up faster than they do jelly highlighters, because I use this way more than I use this. Just saying. I say a lot. Another one that I use is the MAC Fix Plus in Rose in my Smashbox primer water bottle. You can see we did have progress there. It looks like we made more, and that's just because I'm tilting the product to kind of show you where the lines are. So progress on that one. This one I'm actually really surprised about. I actually made progress on my nail polish. I'll be damned. That can happen. Feeling a little bit more confident going ahead with that one. We made some good we made some good progress on our Ponche spray. It's also in a new project pan as well. And then last but not least, the Briogeo Heat Protectant Hair Mask we've actually done really good with as well. So that is everything for this month. I would say hopefully I have a better update for you next month, but you know what? It is what it is, so take it as it comes. I'm saying that more for me than I am for you, especially if you're at this part. Thank you. I feel like I'm just more rambling to myself, which is exactly what I'm doing. So thank you for checking in with me. I hope you're doing well. Quick shout out to Amanda and Jessica. I'll actually link their videos down below. They're partaking in this with me as well. And same with Brandy on Instagram, so I'll also link her down below as well, because the support is overwhelming and I appreciate it. And even if you just watched the video, you left a comment, whatever you did to include in this video kind of in a way, thank you to all of you. Yeah, I love you and thank you, and I hope you're doing okay, and if you're struggling through something, just keep going. We'll get there somehow. So yeah, love you. Bye guys.